Hey guys, Trigger John, coming back to another Diablo Immortal video. This video is going to be a fairly quick one where we're going to talk about the Paragon trees. We've done a lot more research. We've done a lot more use case of these Paragon trees. And I feel like it's very imperative that I point out a few things to you so that way you may be able to make a better judgment call on what Paragon tree you actually want to use and run. All right, so I made a video a little while back about talking about the best in slot Paragon tree and just talking about the new Paragon trees coming out, kind of what you should know, what you should be aware of. At the time, we were kind of, we didn't know exactly what we were talking about. We didn't know exactly what we thought was gonna happen. So a lot of this was hypothetical, right? We could see the data. So when I say we could see the data, I mean, you can come in here and we could see that, okay, well, you could see what this unlocks, but we didn't really understand how this was gonna affect the gameplay, if it's gonna be useful. I went with the Gladiator tree itself, and I know a lot of people did not. Actually, a lot of people went over here and they actually took the Vanquisher and just stayed on the Vanquisher over the Gladiator, surprisingly. Since then, we've kind of shifted. We've shifted the balance a little bit away from the norm, so to speak. And now we're starting to learn a lot more about the Paragon tree and what you really want to do to kind of utilize this and make things better. Now, you're going to notice that I have points in Vanquisher, and I also have points in Gladiator. So that's another thing that we were a little unaware of. And it wasn't so much that we were unaware of it. It was more like just foresight slash hindsight that we missed a few contexts. So now that we're moved forward, right? So we're at server Paragon right now is 82. So we're well past where we were at way ago. Now we have plenty of options for this, the Paragon tree. And we know a lot more. So let's go ahead and let's cover some of the pros and cons of the Paragon trees now that we know more, and point out a few things as to why I have mine set up the way I do. First things first, let's pull up the treasure hunter. So a lot of people are utilizing this tree. It's up to you if you'd like to utilize it. There are some perks of it, right? The experience gained from defeating elite monsters is helpful. The increased globe drop rate for monsters in outdoor areas, that's helpful, especially if you open world farm fast, because that means that you level up quicker. Gold find, kind of okay. I mean, really, gold is not really a buzzkill on that at all. However, treasure find is kind of honestly useless, and we're gonna talk about that. So first things first, you unlock Swift Learner, which then allows you to gain more experience from defeating elite monsters. That's cool. Increased globe drop rate for monsters in outdoor areas. This seems to also affect experience orbs and health orbs, as well as like the shocking orbs, the quickening, the purple ones. It seems to affect all orb drops from the people I've talked to that are used it. Now, I personally have not used it, but let's just put it this way. We have a few people in Aftershock United who may be ship captains, and they may or may not have experienced this a little bit better. So their takeaway and what they're explained to me is yeah, they got a lot more gold. They seem to get a lot more experience, so it was easy for them to level up quicker. If you noticed my video that I just did yesterday about the open world farming and 3.3 million per hour experience, that made that rate go up a little higher. That went up higher. I did this whole entire thing off of a Gladiator tree versus the treasure hunter, so that would actually make that more experience than what it was. So that was one thing they pointed out. They said that was good, they liked that. However, this was useless. Treasure find was useless. All this does is increased equipment drop rate from elite monsters in outdoor areas. So one, you have to hit elite monsters, which are blue or better, as well as it doesn't mean that you get more legendaries. By no means does this mean you get more legendaries. However, this does increase more items that'll get dropped. So you could think of it as, yes, you have a higher potential rate for that equipment drop to be legendary, but it does not effectively and directly affect legendaries that are going to drop. So keep that in mind, and let's talk about what you're going to lose. So with treasure hunter, you're going to lose a lot. You get armor, you get some damage, you get some resistance, you get a little potency, you get some armor pen, which is useless, by the way, and life. You're really not getting any stats that are benefiting you. So if you are someone who is trying to compete in the Shadow Wars, if you are someone who is enjoying Battlegrounds and you want to continue to enjoy Battlegrounds, treasure hunter is doing you no good. Even if you're like open world farming is okay, But even doing dungeons, say you're just now pushing into Hell 3 dungeons, this literally does nothing for you. In my personal opinion, Treasure Hunter, it seemed kind of cool, but it was a massive letdown. Now, let's talk about the Gladiator Tree, because there are some caveats to the Gladiator Tree. So let's talk about it. So, I am a demon hunter. What does that mean, and why am I prefacing that with talking about this? So Gladiator is going to benefit a lot of players that are PvP oriented, that are trying to be competitive, that want to do the Shadow War fights. If you want to push on, say, your Challengeress a little bit, it's going to help. Granted, it doesn't help with the whole against a person, right? Because this right here is fatal attacks from a player. However, reduce the duration of the loss of control effects against you by 10%. That does. Uncontrollable, that does. So there are a few things that'll help you with pushing some of this content in the Gladiator Tree. However, some people aren't going to want to go HP. Some people are going to want to go potency. It depends on the type of build they are. Are they a Necro? Are they a Wizard? Are they a build that is dependent on placing some sort of dot damage or doing some sort of damage over time skill? That is really what affects this on what route they're going to take. For example, I'm a demon hunter, so I kind of got the best part of this. I got to come up here, I got to grab these, I got my damage, I called it good. I stopped there. I'm not worried about the reduce the cooldowns of Trapper and Uncontrollable by 10 seconds. Even though Uncontrollable would be cool, but really I'd want Quick Witted would be, you know, if there could be a boost for that one, that'd be sweet. Or a Cheat Death boost, that'd be cool. But I'm not gonna come down here and grab this because I don't need it. Luckily, because I'm a DH, I go straight into damage. I already got a life boost. And then we can come over here and we can pick another tree to select main attributes. Now, this is where this gets confusing. You will notice that I have a skill right here highlighted. It's bought, I bought into it. It's not activated, and that's totally okay. Because what you need to be aware of is these little circles, right, on all these trees are passives. So notice that this says permanent attributes. Once learned, this attribute bonus is always applied to your character. So it's right there that it states you do not have to come up here and click this activate button to get this bonus. Notice that when you do click the activate button though, you see what it actually will do for you as far as what it's proccing and activating. When I come back over here, this is now activated. Gladiator is no longer activated, but notice that I still have green stats on these primary attributes. That's how you know that these are actual primary attributes that don't matter, because they're always active because they are a permanent attribute. Once you learn this ability, this attribute bonus is always applied to your character. Keep that in mind when you are picking what you're doing. So notice that once again, I unselected it. We come back here and well, looky there. We're getting our damage up. I'm going to focus primarily on damage as a demon hunter. In my personal opinion, damage and vitality are the best things to get as a demon hunter. Damage, life. Stack them as high as possible. Armor pen, kind of useless. If you're a demon hunter, you should be playing a ranged play style anyways. So you should be able to bob, weave, you know, something along those lines to stop yourself from getting destroyed. I recommend go Gladiator, get the Gladiator Tree done, get your damage done. If you are somebody who would benefit from Trapper, then yeah, you want to go all the way through this tree. If you are not somebody who's going to benefit from Trapper, like a demon hunter, come over here, do Vanquisher, get your damage up. The other thing to note is you could do Survivor and come over here if you are very immortal conscious. And let's just say you get lucky and you get all the damage on all these pieces of gear, and these are all strength, but you got no vitality. At that point, you may want to consider coming into the Shadows tree and actually, or sorry, not Shadows, the Paragon tree, and actually selecting the HP over selecting the damage. But I'm not going to tell you to do that right off the rip because it's going to be so circumstantial. It's going to be up to you, the viewer. Do note that HP and damage are rated the exact same for your combat rating. Combat rating is not that godly when playing against other characters, even though, yes, if they have a higher combat rating than you, if it's over, I think, 1,000 combat rating over the other player, they get a 10% boost of damage against you. However, if you're 1,000 combat rating difference, guess what? Your HP, your damage isn't going to make a difference. So keep that in mind when you're looking at your character and combat rating. Like, yes, you may be high on combat rating because you're selecting life. However, you get the same boost from selecting damage. be aware, be cognizant, be aware of which ones you're picking. Note that any of these special ones that you're picking will not activate, will not apply because they are not highlighted. We'll see when they're active. And yeah, that's going to be it. The next time we're going to talk about these is probably going to be when we get to Soldier and Mastermind at Paragon level 150. And I'm sure by the time that gets announced and unlocked, we're going to have some interesting things to really go through. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys loved it. Please like and subscribe if you did. I appreciate you. And I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Peace.